His jaw dropped. Chioma and Emeka, a tall man with an air of arrogance, were already seated, laughing. Rage bubbled in Ebuka's chest. He secretly filmed a short video on his phone before darting away. Obinna hummed along to highlife music, blaring from his taxi. Navigating the chaotic streets of Enugu, he stole a glance at Chioma, his wife, sitting beside him. Her usually vibrant face was etched with worry lines. "Everything all right, Chioma?" he asked, concern lacing his face. Chioma flinched, her eyes flickering away. "Just a headache," she mumbled, popping a pain reliever. Obinna frowned. Headaches were a recent development, coinciding with Chioma's increasingly secretive phone calls and late-night work meetings. A seed of doubt planted weeks ago had begun to sprout. It started with a whiff of collagen he didn't recognize, a name he caught Emeka whispered during a hushed phone call. Obinna trusted Chioma, but the unease gnawed at him. He needed answers. Days turned into weeks, the suspicion festering. One sweltering afternoon, Obinna confided in his best friend Ifeanyi over steaming plates of pepper soup at Mama Nne's joint. Ifeanyi, a stocky man with a booming laugh, listened intently. A tricky situation, he mused, scratching his chin. Suddenly, his eyes gleamed. "There is a folktale, Obinna, about a man who pretended to be blind to catch his cheating wife." Intrigue flickered in Obinna's eyes. Ifeanyi leaned closer, outlining the plan in hushed tones. The next morning, Obinna woke up with a throbbing headache, faking dizziness. Chioma, alarmed, rushed him to a doctor. The doctor, a friend of Ifeanyi's, played along, prescribing eye drops that were actually saline solution. Back home, Obinna stumbled around, bumping into furniture, pinning blindness. Chioma, initially skeptical, soon slipped into the role of a caring wife. She guided him, her voice laced with concern. Obinna, his heart heavy, used his blindness to sharpen his other senses. He noted the change in Chioma's routine, the nervous glances at her phone, the hushed conversations that stopped abruptly when he enters the room. One scorching afternoon, Chioma announced she had a meeting at the new mall across town. Obinna, his pulse quickening, pretended to protest, but Chioma, with the traffic. "Don't worry, darling," Chioma said, her voice strained. "Ifeanyi offered to pick me up and drop me off." Obinna's stomach lurched. Ifeanyi, playing his part, called to confirm this wasn't part of the plan. Desperate, Obinna hatched a new plan. He called his younger brother Ebuka, a nimble teenager known for his parkour skills. Ebuka, sworn to secrecy, arrived in a flash. "Ebuka," Obinna explained, his voice tight, "I need you to follow Chioma." Ebuka, understanding the gravity of the situation, readily agreed. Disguised with a cap pulled low, Ebuka hopped onto the back of Ifeanyi's motorbike as it peeled out of the driveway. He clung on as they navigated the bustling streets, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement. Ebuka followed them through the maze of shops until they reached a quiet upscale restaurant. His jaw dropped. Chioma and Emeka, a tall man with an air of arrogance, were already seated, laughing. Rage bubbled in Ebuka's chest. He secretly filmed a short video on his phone before darting away, weaving through the crowd. Back home, Obinna seated. Ebuka arrived, panting, and showed him the video. Obinna's face hardened. He needed to confront Chioma, but how? Suddenly, an idea struck him. The following evening, Obinna, his voice trembling, tripped and fell. Chioma rushed to his side, a voice laced with concern. "Careful, darling," she cried, extending a hand to help him. Obinna, seizing the opportunity, reached out and grabbed her arm, his fingers brushing a familiar silver bracelet. It was the one he'd given her on their first anniversary, a bracelet he knew she never took off. A gasp escaped Chioma's lips. Suddenly, the concern in her voice evaporated, replaced by a cold, calculating tone. Obinna, what are you doing? She hissed, yanking her arm free. Obinna's heart pounded like a drum solo. Chioma, he said, his voice surprisingly steady. Explain this. He took out his phone, displaying the video Ebuka had captured. Chioma's face paled. Blood drained from her cheeks, leaving a mark of guilt. For a moment, there was a deafening silence, broken only by the whirring of the ceiling fan. It's not what it looks like, Chioma stammered, her voice crackling. But Obinna, his trust shattered, saw through the flimsy lie. He saw a woman he barely recognized, a stranger who wore the familiar face of his wife. Don't insult me, Chioma, he said, his voice thick with pain. The love songs and stolen glances, the shared dreams and whispered secrets, all of it felt like a cruel illusion. Tears welled up in Chioma's eyes, spilling down her cheeks. She confessed, her voice choked with sobs, about feeling lonely, neglected, and seeking solace in a fleeting infatuation, but her words rang hollow to Obinna. The room thrummed with a raw silence. The future they once envisioned, a future built on trust and love, now lay in ruins. Obinna didn't know if they could rebuild what was broken. He needed time. Time to heal the deep wound that had ripped through his heart. Days turned into weeks. The silence in their home, a constant reminder of the betrayal. Chioma, remorseful and desperate to salvage their marriage, tried everything. She cooked his favorite meals, offered massages after long days, and showered him with affection, but Obinna remained withdrawn, a ghost of his former self. One evening, Ifeanyi came over, his usual jovial demeanor subdued. He sat Obinna down for a heart-to-heart. My friend, he said gently, love is a battlefield sometimes. You have a choice to make, forgive, and rebuild, or walk away. Obinna looked out the window, watching the sun dip below the Enugu skyline. He thought of the years he'd shared with Chioma, the laughter, the dreams, the unwavering support she had offered him through thick and thin. But the memory of her deceit lingered, a bitter aftertaste. Weeks bled into months. Obinna finally made a decision. He called Chioma into the living room, his face stoic. Chioma, her eyes red-rimmed from countless tears, sat opposite him, her heart pounding in her chest. Chioma, Obinna began, his voice heavy. Love shouldn't feel like this. It shouldn't be about suspicion and doubt. He paused, his gaze locking with hers. I still care about, but the trust we had is broken. Chioma's breath hitched. Tears welled up in her eyes, threatening to spill over. Obinna continued, his voice low. We can try to rebuild, but it will take a lot of time and effort. Are you willing to put in the work? A long silence stretched between them, thick with unspoken emotions. Chioma, her voice laced with raw honesty, finally spoke. I am Obinna more than anything in the world. Obinna looked at her, the woman he loved and the woman who had hurt him deeply. Their future remained uncertain, a path shrouded in fog. But for the first time in months, a silver of hope flickered within him. Theirs will be a long journey, a journey of healing, forgiveness, and rebuilding trust. Whether they would reach a happy ending, only time would tell. So guys, this is the end of the story. Please leave your thoughts at the comment section. Share and like this video. Also subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys. See you in my next video. Bye.